Hi, welcome to Yoga with Donna Cavanough. We're going to begin with a blanket underneath the hip or the tailbone, the laying down. And you can lay down first and then slide the blanket in. The easiest way to use a blanket under your body. Slide it in to under the tailbone. And take your legs into Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees out wide. If your hips feel stiff, maybe this is your first time you've done this kind of movement in your day, roll the edges of the blanket so you get a little more support under your femur bones. So the hips feel supported. And then letting the spine relax and bringing your focus to just how you feel. And now to your breathing. Let your face be relaxed and your throat. Good. And so we have that feeling of the hips starting to relax, or maybe it's just that we're very aware of how the hips are feeling. Okay, and we'll take the blanket out now and legs straight up from your hips and arms straight up from your shoulders. Press your lower back into the floor. Good. And we're going to start to take the arms and the legs away from center. Just go so far as you know you're really working your front core body. So feel that engagement of the muscles. Good. Pressing your lower back. Good. And back to center. Keep the lower back pressing. And then we'll go again, arms and legs out from center without letting your lower back lift. And back to center. And again. Good. And then take happy baby pose. So put your arms on the inside of your knees and grab your toes or your ankles or your leggings, and we'll take the knees out wide and the feet out wide and just relax the core body now, your back, your belly. Nice, deep and satisfying breath. Neck relax. Good. And then press your lower back into the floor again, arms and legs up again. Now, this time we're going to keep the lower back pressing. Try not to let it lift at all. And we're going to be kittens. And I want you to move your limbs around as far from center as you're able to. But we want to start to get some movement into the core without lifting the lower back off the floor. So arms and legs are going to move, and the further you move them out from center, the harder the work is for the core body. Try rolling a little bit to one side and then the other. Whoa, try to keep your lower back on the floor. You can make these movements as small or as exaggerated as feels good for your body. Good. And then releasing and take happy baby pose again. And we take the knees as wide as we can and the feet as wide as we can to really relax the back and the belly. Finding the flow of your breath. Nice work. And then we're going to come up to sitting, and you can roll to your right and help yourself up. You might be feeling bouncier than that, and roll on up. Okay. Sitting, and if it helps to sit up onto your blanket, helps your spine to lift, then put your blanket in underneath. Good. We're going to do some spinal waves in the forward and back direction. And start off slow so that you can find every little part of your movement. And then the other direction. Good. And then we're going to change the cross of the legs. And this time we're going to take sideways spinal waves. So if you start off with your ear to your shoulder and take your spine in that direction, and then reverse other ear to the other shoulder, and then head over in that direction, ear to the shoulder, heading on that side, ear to the shoulder. And this one can feel quite awkward if you haven't done it before, but you're looking for your articulated movement. Nice work. And then we're going to do kneeling. And if kneeling's out of the question, stay in your seated position and make your legs comfortable. Otherwise, we're going to kneel down, and you can take your blanket, you can roll it up into a nice little, tiny little cushion, or whatever you need, whatever height you need, to put underneath your sit bones. So the blanket goes between the ankles, and we're kneeling down and just checking in that that feels okay in the knees. There may be tightness is okay, but not pain. So don't do it if it hurts. Good. And so whether you're sitting with your legs out in front of you or folded under you, we're going to interlock the fingers, press out through the palms, and we're going to take the arms up until that point where the body stops for whatever reason. And then lift your shoulders and see if there's a little bit more room to move where it feels, let's see, spacious in the shoulders. And that's going to look different for each person. Some people might be able to take the arms back from the line of the ears. But try to make your arms straight. Good. And then we'll release that side and change to the other interlock. Press out through the palms, arms straight, and then lift your arms to where you get some kind of block in your own body. And then lift your shoulders up and see if there's a little bit more room to move. Neck stays relaxed. And we keep pressing out through the palms. Good. And then we'll release. Take your hands behind the line of your hips and make a back bend shape. Lift the breastbone. Connect to your breath. Virasana, hero pose. Good. And then we don't need the blanket, and we're going to come into an all fours position. Arching the spine up and arching the spine down. Stretch your fingers out wide, wide, even spaces. Press a little more in the base of the index fingers. Bend the elbows a little. Press out your upper arms. Lovely. Tuck the toes under and lift your knees just off the floor. And then keep going with your arching the spine up and down. Great. Take the hips back to the heels. And then downward facing dog pose. Pressing the heels, lifting kneecaps. Good. And we're going to alternate pressing the heels down to the floor. Okay, now from here, we're going to step the right foot forward between the hands. Now, if that's not going to work, you can feel you can't quite manage that. We're going to bring the knees to the floor, hands off the floor, step the right foot forward, and then tuck your left toes under, and you'll be in the lunge position. And we're going to bring the hips forward and lift the breastbone. Good. And then we're going to step back to downward facing dog pose. Pressing the heels. Lifting kneecaps. Sit bones. Good. And same thing on the left side. So left foot, either that's going to step forward between your hands, or you're going to carefully take your knees to the floor, lift your hands off the floor, left foot forward, hands back to the floor, and lift your back knee off the floor. Long lunge, bring the hips forward, lift the breastbone. Good. And stepping that foot back into downward facing dog pose. Good. Bring the feet forward now. Little steps. Try to press your heels down. Little steps. Until you feel like you've run out of room. Then you're going to roll up and come to the front of the mat in Tadasana. We're going to take the arms up with the breath, palms facing forward, looking up. And as you exhale, bend your knees, bend forward, reach the torso forward, and take the arms beside your legs, beside the torso, palms up to the ceiling. Inhale, arms up, looking up, and exhale. Forward bend, arms beside you, and palms up to the ceiling. Great. If you have your balance, when you lift up, add in lifting up onto your tiptoes and lowering the heels. When you bend forward. And you could do this movement faster if you felt like it. It's pretty hot here still, so I'm just taking this nice and slow. Also, it's a little trickier to balance if you slow it down. Last one. We're going to lift up and look up. Nice work. Hands in front of your heart. So we're in mountain pose with hands in namaste. Feet are hip width and parallel. And feel how strong your legs are. Lift the thighs, lift the knees. Good. We're going to step the left foot back. And we're going to stay facing this short end of the mat. Left foot back. So we're in a short lunging position. Good. And let's straighten both legs. Lift your breastbone. Good. Take your arms up and bend forward as we just did with the legs now in this different position. And we're going to take the belly and the chest, out and over the front leg, arms beside you, palms up. And you just go as far as you can with your torso without compromising your spine. So you just take the torso as far forward as you can, keep the bones of the spine embedded forward. Good, and then we're going to lift up. Okay, so it might feel like it's a small movement, but what I want you to concentrate on is legs stay balanced. So they're parallel and the knees are looking forward. You keep the bones of the spine embedded forward. And each time you reach forward, you might be able to reach a little bit further, but mostly we're keeping the balance. So your attention in your feet and your ankles, bones of the spine embedding forward. Good, we're going to do one more. Good. And then hands in namaste. We're going to step forward and be balanced on the right foot. Lift the left leg high. Take the left leg out to the side. Take the left leg behind you and bend forward a little bit so you can lift your left knee high. Good. And then we'll lift up and place the foot down just where you intend. Tadasana, arms by your side. Finding the flow of your breath. Good. Let's take the arms up, look up. Hands in namaste in front of your heart. Okay, we're stepping back for that lunging position. It's not a really big lunge. So you've got your back heel on the floor. Straight legs. Good. Take your arms up by your ears. And as you exhale, we're going to reach the torso out and over the front leg. Arms beside the torso, palms up. Good. We're going to keep going with that movement. Really focusing on your balance. Keeping the bones of the spine forward. Finding a little bit more room to move. And trusting the power in your legs. And the good connection between your mind and your feet. Beautiful. Lifting the arms up. Bring the hands in namaste. Step forward and balance on your left foot. Good. Lift the right knee high. Take the right knee out to the side. And behind you, you can tip your torso forward a little to lift the knee nice and high. Good. And then lifting up tall. Bring the right foot and place it just where you intend. Tadasana. Great. This time we're going to step back a little bit further and the front leg is going to be bent. Arms up, hands in namaste. So big step back with the left foot and the right leg is bent. So the back heel probably is not on the floor. Let's do the same thing with the arms and the torso. Arms up, look up. And as you exhale, we're going to reach the torso as far as you can over your right thigh. And arms lifting beside you, palms up. Press the back heel. So again, we're really concentrating on the parallel leg, being strong, lift up, on embedding the bones of your spine forward. Good, hands in front of your heart, stepping forward and being balanced on your right leg. We're going to lift the left knee high, out to the side, out behind. And then placing the left leg down. Tadasana. Arms up. Ooh, hands in namaste. Big step back with the right foot. So we want a nice long lunge. Bend the front leg. Left leg is bent. Right leg is straight. Really press back through the heel. Good. Take your arms up. Inhaling as you exhale. Lengthen the torso forward over the front leg. Good. Take the hands up beside you, palms up. And keep going. So we keep the balance. Strong legs. Keep the front leg bent. Embedding the bones of the spine forward. Ooh, last one. Lifting up. Bring your hands into namaste and stepping forward and balancing on your left foot. Bring the right foot in front. Ooh, knee out to the side, knee behind you, knee in front. And placing the foot. Tadasana. Nice work. We're going to face the long edge of the mat now. Been working on this movement this week, where the feet are wider than the hip. No, not hip. Wider than the leg length. And toes pointed out. Bend your knees and drop your hips a little. So we want to keep moving the knees back. Lift belly, bring the hands in front of the heart. Side to side. So one leg is straight, one leg is bent. We keep trying to take the hips a little bit lower. Good. Come back to center. So take the hips as low as you can. Lift the pelvic floor. Take the knees back. Good. Lift the torso. Lovely. And then releasing. And then we're going to turn the toes in and the heels out. Bending forward at the hip crease. And your hands can be on your legs or on the floor under your shoulders. Let's try and make a little bit of a spinal wave here. So if it helps, you can bend your knees, but we'll lift the chin and then arching the spine so that we get rid of that feeling of the spine being locked or rigid, and we try to find our subtle and supple movement. There's another direction here. Okay, and then we're going to straighten the legs, lift the kneecaps, quadriceps, sit bones. If you're reaching your torso further forward, you can either take your arms out in front of you, or maybe your head starts to reach towards the floor between your feet. You can take your hands back through your legs. Lifting kneecaps, lifting quadriceps. Pressing the outside edges of your feet. Letting your head just hang down. Rocking a little bit, your head from side to side. Nice work. Great. And then we're going to come into a seated position, and you can do that from here or however it works. I'm going to put my hands on the floor, jump the feet into a little squat, and try sitting by moving, making sure my feet are going to move, or have some flexibility, I should say, and sitting down. and sitting up onto your blanket. Simple cross-legged position. We're going to reach out with the right arm and left arm by the left ear. So we're going to stretch the left side of the body and go as little or as far as feels good. But we're looking for that stretch in the left side. And so you want to keep your left knee down and rolling the ribs so your heart looks up at the ceiling. Finding the flow of your breath. Good. And then inhale and coming up. And change the cross of your leg. Reaching out to the left side. Bringing your right arm by your right ear. Really reaching. Try to keep the right knee down. Turning the ribs up towards the ceiling or the front ribs up to the ceiling. Good. And then inhale. And coming up. Nice work. Both legs out to wide. So if you don't have padding on your floor, something under or make sure your heels land on your mat. I find it too hard on the hard floor. All right, we're going to put the left foot in, so fold it in so the heel is close to the thigh. And we're going to turn to the left side. So just flat your right hand against your right leg and lift the ribs and turn them left. We're trying to keep some space between the pelvis and the rib cage. And then finding your breath and that extra movement, that potential movement with each breath. Okay, so we've turned a fair way to the left. We're going to keep the ribs turning, but we're going to start to slide the right hand towards the right foot. So the heart is looking upwards towards the ceiling, the sky, and maybe you can hold on to your clothing there or your ankle or your foot. And we're going to keep reaching the right ribs over the right thigh. Take your left arm behind you and see if you can reach across and take hold somewhere near your right hip, your clothing or your thigh. And that's going to help you bring the bones of the spine forward, turning the heart to look up at the ceiling. Good, and keep reaching. Arvata Janushisasana. Good, and now keep the torso in that lovely open position and take your left arm by your left ear, as straight as you're able to. Good, and then inhale. And we're going to come up. Good work. Take your left leg back out to wide-legged straight. And your right leg folds in, heel to the thigh, or as best as your knee can do. All right, so then we flat the left palm against the left leg, turn to your right. And try to make a bit more space between your pelvis and the ribs. And then we find the breath. And there's a whole world of movement there when we connect to the breath. Good. Keep the ribs turned, but start to slide your left hand in the direction of your left foot and hold on to something, your ankle, your leggings, your foot. We keep the ribs turning back, so right ribs back, lifting the heart to look upward. And continue to lift the left ribs and reach them over the left leg. Ooh. Good. Take your right arm behind you and try to reach for your left hip in that direction. So it's going to help you embed the bones of the spine forward. The rib cage is turning. Good. And then release your right arm and take your right arm as straight as you can by your right ear. Heart is shining upward and outward. And inhale. And come up. We're going to do a supported, a forward bend. And it's really nice if you can rest your forehead, but we don't all reach where our hands can support. So let's support with hands where they make sense to you. Behind the hip, lifting the bones of the spine. If you're uncomfortable in cross-legged position, take your legs out semi-wide. Good. And then we start to bring the bones of the spine forward. Good. And just support with your hands where it makes sense in your body, so either in front of you or behind you. And if you find that you have a lot of room in your forward movement, you can put your elbows on the floor and make a little support with your hands softly so your forehead can rest. Don't be in any hurry to rest your forehead if it means your spine is bowing out behind you. So embed the bones of your spine forward. And coming up. So you can change the cross of the legs. If your legs are out straight, you might want to come up and just give your knees a little massage. And finding your support again, hands either behind your hip or in front. Makes sense to you. Tuning in. Coming up. Beautiful. And we're going to take a laying down position with your blanket again. And put the blanket underneath your hips. Put your arms beside your torso and palms down, and you're going to stretch your fingers towards your heels. So the back of the neck feels long. Even lift the back of the head and reach it along the mat. Good. And then we'll take the legs up. And then relaxing the shape of your upper back, the belly. A little bamboo pose, little inversion. Good. Put your feet back down on the floor and lift your tailbone and then your hips off the blanket and then your whole spine, and keep lifting up. Press the feet down, press the hands down, lifting hips. Good. And then lowering down bone by bone. And then the sacrum rests on the blanket, and then the tailbone lastly rests into its natural shape, and take the legs up. Relax the upper body. Relax the neck, face, and throat. Good. And again, feet to the floor. Lift the tailbone, lift the hips, lift bone by bone. And then lowering down. And lastly, let the tailbone rest and really relax your upper body. We're going to take the legs up last time. And this time, just wiggle your arms out to wherever they feel comfortable. We're going to take a few breaths here. Letting the belly and the back relax. Good. And then releasing, feet to the floor. Take the blanket out and we'll cross the left thigh over the right thigh. Lift your hips and swing them a little to the left of the mat. Take your legs across to the right side. Arms where it feels best for your shoulders, so out by your sides, straight out from the shoulders. Try to avoid taking your arms higher than your shoulders. It tends to shorten the length of the neck. So knees are going right, and we're going to turn and look left. And then we're going to lift legs back up. Cross the right thigh over the left thigh. Swing your hips a little to the right and knees to the left. Just finding your optimal position, finding your breath. Good. And then we're going to come back up to center. Hug your knees into your chest and rock a little bit from side to side. And then rolling gently to your right side and coming up to sitting. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.